Right.
What's going on, folks? I am Manny Vitale, host of My Fight Our War, co-host of Music and Mayhem with Skylar Ray, and co-host of My Brother's Keeper, a biker's podcast with my brother Thomas Guffey, Vestergaard. I'm telling you, I got no more shows because I'm running out of
Names.
titles and titles. But today is a special episode, as you guys saw, maybe in the comments. It's all about the Addiction Eviction rally in Athens, Alabama, coming up this coming weekend, June 6th and 7th. And I'm so honored and proud. First of all, let's get OG in here to
Heidi's
get
already
ready.
in. I
And
love it. Hi,
I,
Heidi.
I have been talking about this individual, this superstar, this
That's right.
angel, my sister Lori, and
Mm-hmm.
what she's been going through and what she's doing. So here she is, my sister, Lori Masonia from Athens, Alabama.
Hey everybody.
Lori's in the
Hey
house.
y'all.
I said it too. Before we went on live, I was in the green room and me and Lori, we were all talking. And I said something to Lori. I said, I was talking about you. And I told the people, I said, and I told y'all, and I stopped. I said it. I said
Without
y'all.
hesitation, it just
But
came right out.
Lori, I love you. I mean, you for everything nonstop work you have been doing for the last since September when
Mm-hmm.
we were talked about this. You are just glowing.
It's been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember last year when the rally was over, I was exhausted,
I
and
bet you were.
I usually start in like October or November, but it was like 2 days after God started speaking about it. And I was like, oh, I hear you, but please just let me rest for a little bit. You know? But it's like when I came in contact with you and OG, it seemed like forever ago, and
Mm-hmm.
I got those plane tickets, and bam, here we are, and the amazing people that I've met through my Fight Our War. And one of the guys that comes on your show that watches it actually is married to a lady that I know from here that moved to Tennessee. And I've been friends with her and her daughters for years, and they're going to be there on Saturday.
And
No,
that's Randy, isn't it?
who?
Randy Powers,
Randy
yes,
No
Powers.
kidding.
yes.
Uh-huh.
His wife has a powerhouse testimony.
Oh
And,
man.
Heidi, I would love to meet Heidi and Tyler.
Yep.
I
Hi-
feel like I've known them forever, and so I'm
Yep.
excited.
Heidi's in here. Boston's in here.
Oh, Boston.
Oh
Hey,
man.
buddy. But I can't wait. For me, the blessing comes in the preparation. That includes like meeting people like you and OG, and then we're finally going to meet face to face.
I,
And it's in the trials and tribulations and the victories and losses along the way, because our goal is to set the addict free, lead them to Jesus. But sadly, we've lost several,
oh,
to
man.
all. And I believe that God has sent His very best for this event this year, and it is going to be, like I said, it's going to be a jaw dropper. There's people
It's
that's going to be in awe of what's going to happen over there that day, and I'm just glad that to be trusted with the vision.
Oh, Lori, I tell you what, I still remember sitting right here and us talking, and you bringing up, I do this little event, this rally every year, the Addiction
Mm-hmm.
Eviction rally, and you go, I'd love for you guys to come and be part of it. I'm in. Yes. See, that's what I could still do some of the scheduling, be part of it. Yes. And I remember telling you, I go, when is it? And you said June. And I said, June. I go, man, we're in September, October. It's not till next summer. And here we are. And man, I mean, the things that have been going on.
I can't
Um,
hear you.
you can't hear me.
Put it in front of your mouth. Maybe it's
Maybe
well.
it's right here.
Well.
It's hello. Can you hear me now,
Uh-oh.
Lori?
Can you hear either one of us?
Uh oh.
Uh-oh.
Come on, Lori. With I don't know if she got a call. She didn't get a call.
Oh, 'cause she was
Did-
right.
Are you muted? Did you mute the mic? Uh-oh.
She's disappeared.
And
It's a magic trick.
poof. For our next trick, I'm going to make OG appear. Watch this. And watch
and here
this.
I am.
Boom.
Oh, don't do it. You're making me dizzy.
We had a couple little glitches with her mic.
Coming on. So
Coming on. So Kalisha, we got Kalisha, Boston, Heidi. That's all I see on the screen. So I don't know if there's anyone else there. But we had a few little glitches with Lori. We could hear Lori, but she couldn't hear us for some reason. Which is weird because everything was set properly, and we just need her to pop back.
She might come back.
She's coming back on. You can't keep Lori down. Kalisha, and I just saw that OG reached out, Kalisha, and I'm so glad that you're finally coming on the show.
We're gonna look for a date.
Yeah, whatever works, man.
For her.
I tell you what, whatever you need, Kalisha, you know we will make it happen. As well as with Calico coming on. So heck yeah, Kalisha, you got the stroke, man. We make it happen. And plus we got to talk about that story about that mask with that lion. That was incredible.
Yeah,
we were talking about that
was
with
so cool.
Yeah, Calico popped on during one of the shows in the comments, and I happened to bring that up, and she was like, "Oh my god, I still will never forget the look in Kalisha's eyes." We were doing a show, getting ready to do a show, and Calico was at her house, and we were all at different locations, obviously. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden I look at Kalisha, and she's looking, and she goes, "Calico, move your phone back," and so she could see the wall. And all of a sudden she's like,
you know what? Lori asked if you could send her the link again.
Yep.
Can you do that while you're talking?
What? Yeah. All right, folks. Well, this is going to be interesting. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, if this is going to black out or not, but I got to resend.
If we disappear, we'll be back momentarily.
If we do disappear. Hey, you know what? It's not a party till something gets broken. It'd be boring if everything right. And plus, this is me, so something's got to go wrong. Hold on, folks. Okay. Invite. Wait a minute. Can you hear me?
Yes, it kicked me out.
Well, you're back now. OG said, she goes, "Well, I'm sure she'll try to come back on." I go, try. You can't keep Lori out of anything.
You know what? Satan don't want us talking about this, but look, take that, you foolish old devil. So anyway, I was just saying that, I'm so blessed for the people that we meet along the way, and the friendships and the new family that we gain, that'll be forever. This won't be our first event. And then, as events go on, and my buddy Donald Blow, he's coming next year. He's already on the book.
All right.
He's incredible.
He messaged me. He wants to come. Said he was going to plan his vacation, because it's always the first Saturday in June. So I just am like, I can't wait to meet just everybody, and just what everybody's got to bring to the table, and the testimonies, and to see people laughing and crying, and getting set free, and the fellowship we're gonna have. And I'm telling y'all, Friday night y'all gonna eat good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I can't wait just to find. I mean, that definitely is on my radar there, but just finally getting to sit down with you and person, and just to be able to appreciate you and which we do always, but just to be able to physically be there, and just to give you that hug, and just that moment, those, and get all the pictures we're going to get together. And those are going to be 2 days that are, and like you said, I always tell guests at the end of the show, this isn't a one and done, man. We're like you said, we're family. This is the beginning.
Yes. And I said, down here we're having Manny Mania. Like, just like, you know, I've had to be a little bit selfish. Who's picking Manny up at the airport? And I was like, well, it's Manny and OG. It's Manny and his
Mm-hmm.
assistant. I'm going to be there. They're getting a car, but I'm going to be there. And it's just like a family name now because everybody's been watching the podcast and all of that. And everybody's hearts is just they're wanting to help.
Oh man, it's incredible.
Wanting to meet OG and they're wanting to help. And but I claim that one. I claim that trip to the airport for sure.
Yeah.
And but my team that's helped me, I can't say enough good things about them. I've got to have somebody over there showing the city where to set up the tents, and then somebody showing them where to put the Pepsi trailer, all while I'm up there, getting y'all. And man, it's just been a team effort. It's been amazing. And I just feel like doing jumping jacks right now. I really do.
That's what I said when right before you came on. I didn't say anything to OG. I was just thinking because I know how tired I am since with my schedule changing and the new shows and everything. And I was thinking about everything that you have been doing for the last 7 months plus doing this. And I was thinking to myself, man, she's got to be just beat. And then all of a sudden your picture came on, and I was just like, oh my God. I go, you are just freaking glowing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you got to shine about you, Lori. Man,
Uh-oh.
easy.
I,
You okay there?
yes, I am. Well, my allergies are really giving me a fit, but I'm in my element. This is what I love to do. This is what I'm called to do. And I don't know. I just I'm so grateful and so thankful and just so excited. This is year number 7, and I believe this has definitely been the most challenging and difficult year, but it's also been the most rewarding and faith
Mhm.
year. Um, we all know how the enemy works, and he is not happy that all of us, and I'm talking about my 5-hour war, I'm talking about Anthony Torres from down in New Mexico, I'm talking about the people that are coming from all over the United States. There's a bunch of warriors getting together. I'm talking about the ones that run in the fire and not away from the fire. And so I'm crunk, and so I'm gonna go ahead and warn y'all. Like this year, I'm emceeing the rally. Have anybody else doing it? I'm doing it myself, and I get a little bit crazy when I talk about addiction. I'm just gonna go and tell y'all. So
Well, we're the same there. You know that.
yeah, so I want you to know I am responsible for my own actions. I take full responsibility for whatever comes out of my mouth on Saturday.
Well, Lori, you know how I feel about that. And I've said from day one when I started this, I said, listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat shit.
Mm-hmm.
I want everyone to enjoy and like me and all that. And, I know everyone's not going to agree and all that. But the thing is, I said, I am not going to be fake. What you see is what you get. If you don't like it, don't watch.
That's
It's
right.
that simple. But I said, I will never sugarcoat my feelings towards this mission that I'm on. And yeah, so I love you and I respect you for that,
Well,
because that's
the thing that
how we roll.
people have to realize is that Jesus met us right where we are in our worst of times, and
Hmm.
we have to meet people right where they are. Is somebody gonna let a dirty word fly? Of course they are. You
Excuse me.
and people so often forget who the disciples were. They were,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not looking for people with that. I don't want anybody perfect at this rally. I want every broke down, jacked up person with issues, addictions, mental illness. This year we have veterans resources. We want people to come, and we can't change anybody, but the love in us can. You know what?
Hmm.
We just love them like Jesus, because Jesus is compassion. Jesus is love, and so we got to stop being so churchy toward people, because I'm not a church person. I'm a kingdom person. I'm a person that wants to see you on the other side. I don't care what your denomination is. I don't care, what you do, how you do it. I just know that I'm going to meet you right where you are. That's what I'm going to.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. You know what? Um, is like I said, we all have our own way, but our whole passion and our whole goal here is to attack addiction, not each other.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
and the thing is, I may not agree with you and your way about going about things, but if it's to attack addiction, hey, I'm there. I'll support you in that cause. I'm not going to sit there and jump on you for the way you do it. If that's your way, God bless you, man. And just like for my way, you know what? I will never change the way. Hey, man, I'm from Detroit. I've been shot in the face, stabbed in the face. I've blown my appendix out, and my pancreas, kidneys, and liver all completely shut down. Done. I had to tell my mom goodbye. I had to tell my family goodbye because I was going to be dead in 6 weeks. I'm still here, so I got a little comes against addiction, and I'm going to let it fly, just like you, Lori. Warriors.
So excited about you and your testimony, because of my dad, and
I,
and to see, uh, what all you went through. It just, you are a medical miracle. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I mean,
Yes.
who could have been through, what did you say, 50 something surgeries?
More than
50,
50.
53 ish.
We lost count.
We lost count. And Lori, I'm no different than everyone else.
There you
OG's
are.
a nurse, RN, and when she heard about what happened, she's like, wait a minute, hospice took over your care. Your pancreas, kidneys, and liver all shut down.
That's it.
And she said, you don't come back.
That's all she
Well,
wrote.
that's why 7 days later, when they told me this, and they kept taking blood from me, and my room's getting full of doctors taking blood. I'm like, why are doctors watching this? On that seventh day, too, Lori, on the seventh day,
There he
they all
rose.
walked into my room. The room was packed full of doctors and specialists. And that's when Dr. Death looked at me and started smiling. I'm
That
like, I go, you evil bastard. I go, you're smiling at me and you're sending me home to die. And that's when his associate came up and she sat down. She started crying. She held my hand and she goes, Manny, we're sending you home to live. She said, that's why all these specialists are here. That's why we've been here every 4 hours for the last 7 days, because your organs
You're
are
a
done.
walking
And she
miracle.
goes, not only did they start functioning again, they're all within normal limits. And I've been blessed, and you're a blessed because of that. I am here with you,
that's
and that
crazy. I was 7 years old when my dad passed. He was buried on the day before Christmas Eve on December 23rd. I remember that Christmas. I will never forget it. When they came, and my aunt was the one that told us, that my dad had passed away, and from, was it called cirrhosis of the liver, and all of that. And then, to see what all you went through on top of, you know,
Mhm.
not just your addiction, but being shot, being stabbed. I mean, Manny, man, you have a purpose, and you're walking in that purpose right now. And I'm excited for you to come down south and throw your spice on somebody.
well,
The
well,
I never reached that, you know, that Tyler or Boston or Heidi, that none of us could ever reach. We all have our own story, and
Mhm.
if each just reach one, hey, it's a win. So, yeah,
it
I'm excited.
it really is. And the thing is, with each one of our stories, and I've had people come on the show as guests, and they're like, you know what, my story is not as dramatic or as powerful as that person's. I'm like, don't ever say that. Your words matter. And I said, just like you touch one person, and it sounds so cliche, but one life saved is a life saved.
Yeah,
And
that this just trips me out. I've known this guy about 5 years, and I went up to this place called Love's Creek in Tennessee. Absolutely beautiful place. And I was like, Lord, why are you bringing me up here to talk to 34 men? This don't even make sense to me. And so, I just went with the spirit and said what I said. And I had no idea that day. You should have seen the grown men that were on their knees when I left that day. But this guy, till this day, will tell you, he said, I would not be the man I am today if it wasn't for your testimony. And I
Mhm.
talked to him about a porn addiction. I never had that, but I've known people that had, and I was talking to men, so that was part of what I spoke on. And he said that day he threw his phone in the little creek back there, and that if I hadn't have spoke on that subject, because a lot of people don't like to touch certain subjects,
Mhm.
I'm that person that will, that it wasn't for that day that he have his wife and his newborn baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
never knew. I never knew. He didn't tell me for like 3 years after that. And I just am like, you don't ever know how your actions, how your words are
Mhm.
affect people because there's always somebody watching. Always.
Always. And someone can relate. And the thing is, like I was telling this one guest, she's like, well, you with the shooting, I mean, it's all dramatic. And it's like, it's not sometimes what hits people, the hardest is when I had a person tell me this about watching my testimony and all that, how it changed his life and all that in certain ways. And he goes, he was bringing up those things. He goes, but it was when you talked about that time when you were sitting at the table with your mom
Mhm.
and she was crying and beating out and you didn't even care. And then after, you finally got your act together and got cleaned up, when I was sitting at that same table and I had that flashback of that moment and I started crying. I relived that moment in sobriety, and knowing how much pain I caused just crushed me. And trying to explain that to my mom in a sober way meant so much to her. And that's what that guy got out of that. And he said all the other stuff was very dramatic and powerful, but that moment with just me and my mom.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you, man, my addiction was not drugs or alcohol. It was, things that were associated, with what I went through as a child. I done some things that I was not proud of. But I'm going to tell you, to be, the mom of an addict and to know that I almost took my life because I couldn't fix my child, you know, I know what it's like not to have anybody to listen. I know what it's like to feel all alone. And sometimes all people need is just no advice, just listen, just.
that's so true.
And so, I make it my goal to, if somebody calls me in the middle of the night, I'm going to talk to them. If somebody needs to come sit at the table and me make coffee, hey, let's do it, because I didn't have that. And I promised God, that I would always make myself available, to someone in need. Because if someone took their life because I rejected them in a time of need, I don't know if I could ever forgive myself for that. And so, I believe that we have to be more aware of what is around us. We have to see the signs of depression. We have to see the signs of relapse. We have to see, hey, Manny, are you okay? Manny, do
Mhm.
you need to come over and talk? Or, hey, Manny, let me come over, or, something. Because people aren't going to say, hey, Laura, I feel like taking my own life. I feel like, but there are signs. I believe that people's not going to tell you, hey, I'm just going to go kill myself, or I'm just going to go, relapse. But if you tune in and you've been around as much addiction as we have,
Mhm.
you can see when people are not on track.
Mhm.
Exactly. And the thing is too, I mean, you nailed it on so many points. Is I've had people ask me during shows, after shows, it's like, what what do I say? What don't I say? They want to help, but they're worried about doing something or saying something wrong. And I said, listen, sometimes just like you said, don't worry about saying the right thing or the wrong thing at times. When you get to that point, just be there, just
Mhm.
listen, just listening. And another thing that you brought up about focusing and noticing when someone's in need, because I had someone tell me another time that someone might need some help. And I said, if you ever get that feeling that you think there's a reason you got that feeling. If you think they do, they do. And then he followed that up with, well, you know what? He's got a big caring family and a lot of friends. So he's surrounded by people. I said, listen, you could be physically surrounded by people, hundreds of people, and be totally alone. Don't ever, like you nailed it, Lori. Don't be that person living in regret because you had a feeling something wasn't right and you didn't act on it.
I,
So, I
I was
mean,
having a conversation last Wednesday, as a matter of fact, and you know, like the truth hurts. I said, heck yeah, the truth hurts. It don't hurt for the person receiving the truth. It hurts the person having to tell you the truth. Because a lot of people's going to tell you what you want to hear. It's hard to tell somebody what you need to hear, you know. But if you really love me, I want you to hurt my feelings and tell me the truth, you know. And
yes.
that's the problem, is people just sugarcoat all of this stuff, hide what's really going on behind the scenes. Recovery has become a very nasty um, industry and money maker, and we don't do this for money. We do not do this for money. We don't, like, the resources coming. They don't have to pay me to come here and set up their table. I mean, they're a blessing to us. This rally is not for me. It's for everybody else. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So,
definitely. Yeah, and it you I tell you, when I started this same thing, man, it's like I don't sit there and ask for money. I don't ask for shit. This is
Everything.
what we do. I'm not, I don't know how many followers I have or how many views I get. You know what? It's how many people I touch
yeah,
and how many people I help. That's what it's for me. And you know, as far as going to events and stuff, I was talking to a couple people in our studio in New York, and they said, Manny, we want you to do more here. We want you to do more. And I'm like, I'm in. And I had to come right out and say, listen, no one's paying for us. We pay our own airfare. We pay our own place, cars, rentals, all this stuff, and it adds up. And this individual had his show plus a producer, and he's like, there people now are offering to pay for this and that. And I go, you know what? I get it. It's a business at a point, but I'm not going to sit there and demand money to come on someone's show. I'm not going to ask for money to be flown out somewhere. That's something I'm alive, man. You know, and,
I'm
and, and we're going
it,
to make it happen.
But we
and I'm
might not be able to fly everywhere people would
sorry.
like us to, though.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry for what I'm about to say,
Uh-oh,
but
but
I think you made it out of addiction, and that you are so high and mighty that you want to charge me $3,500 to come here.
oh,
You, hey,
Jesus.
Lori, I'd love to come to your event. For you, Lori, I'll come for $3,500. No, I don't think
You know,
so. The Lord
man,
has supposed to be here. Don't come and make money.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
no,
No,
I mean,
I said, don't let the door hit you in the ass
uh,
on the way out.
and again, to each their own and all that stuff. I mean, of course, doing things. I never understood the business part of podcast and doing this. I never thought I'd be doing this. And now this is something that I do want to end up being my career. This is something. So yes, there are going to be points where money is going to have to be a factor in this to pay my bills, at home, my mortgage, just like everyone else has a job. Our job is doing this. But like you said, Lori, when you said, back in September about coming out to your event, yes is all I said. There was never, well, are the costs, what's that going to be, Lori? How much?
Mhm.
Shit, no. It was like, Lori, Athens, Alabama,
Yep,
Dubs Burger,
that would be a
I'm in.
yes.
I did all Fred, y'all are gonna love it. You're gonna go home and show it off. Probably hang it in your studio. Y'all are gonna be so excited. Um, because we did do something a little special for y'all. because y'all were the first one that got the plane tickets. Y'all were the first ones to say, yeah. I don't take that lightly at all. And, there's just a time I believe that when it's time for you to, I don't know how you have time to work a job, but when it's time that this is what you're supposed to do full time, that
Mm.
money start coming in. People are not,
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
say, well, let me do a GoFundMe, or, people are going to start sewing into your, to my 5 hour war, and that time is coming, and my thing is like, I covered a couple of hotel rooms, and gas, but, I will never be one that's like, well, let me give you, okay, 5,000, y'all pay you that. No, I will not pay you $5. Come down here and share the testimony that we're praying somebody else will live to tell one day. No, it don't work like.
And you know what? I keep forgetting. I sit there and I look at all these shows, and shows that I've been on, and I've been very, very blessed, man. The people that I have met, it's such a short duration. I get very frustrated because I want to do more, and I always want to make the show better. I want to, I need to do better. I just want to keep doing better, better, better. And my producer in New York, Matt Cronin, he goes, it takes time. He goes, there's Ian Bick and all these guys. He goes, been doing this for like years. He goes, you've been doing this for a year.
Not
and,
even a
and,
year.
not even- and he goes, just kind of pull back on the reins. He goes, because right now like I said, I know how blessed I am. The people that I have met, I am so fortunate. And the advice that I've been given, the opportunities that I have been given, I don't take for granted at all. And one of them did say to me in Connecticut, he goes, well, man, this guest here brought your name up. And he goes, and he doesn't come on people's shows that haven't been around for a long time. And I go, oh, he goes, but he goes, you are going to have to pay. And I said, well, I guess he's not going to be on the show. Like, I don't give a shit who you are. If like you said, Lori, if I have to pay you to come on and tell a blessing, I don't want you on the show.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
And so, this is funny. I have to share this with you. I decided that after the rally, I want to go on the road. I hope to come to Detroit. Uh,
Mhm.
there's a couple of places that I really feel led to go, but I also feel like I need to get a part-time job. And okay, so I got computer skills. I know how to. I've never had to apply for a job. The jobs always came to me. I have filled out 38 job applications on Indeed. One guy called me, and I just told him, I was like, "Look, I'm not going to waste your time, and don't waste mine." It's like, I talked to my pastor's wife about it. It's like I'm not supposed to get a job. I'm not. After this rally, something's going to happen that's going to change my whole life. I don't know what
Oh, yeah.
it be, or how, what it's going to look like, but I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
What's crazy about that is I can relate to what you're saying because every now and then, I mean, everyone I hope by now knows how much I enjoy and love doing this. Every now and then, I just get this little bird in my ass and in my saddle, and I'm like, and I look at OG and I'm like, something has got to give, and then I'm like, something's going to happen, and it'll a little while later, and
Mhm.
I'll say it again. I'll tell her, I go, I'm telling you, man, something is about to break, and it'll be maybe a week later, all of a sudden get hit with this news. And it was just like you get this feeling inside, and it's not out of arrogance or cocky. It's just like this overwhelming, like you're ready to burst. And it's like, yes. And it's not a yes me moment, it's yes us moment, for
Yeah,
all of us in the community. I've said from day one, this is not a I and a me family. This is a us and a we family.
yeah. And then every time that we have that, we say, "Well, I don't want to more. I want to quit." The phone will ring every time. Or, somebody called Lori, so and so's overdosed. Is there any way you can get them to the hospital? Can you pick them up out of ICU and take them to rehab? I mean, it never fails. I mean, every time that, my mind plays tricks on me, that, this is it. I'm not going to do this anymore. It's like,
The phone rings.
go and we go that much harder.
Ah,
So I don't know who I think I'm fooling when I do stuff like that, but I just love all y'all so much, and I'm so glad we're going to get to spend the weekend together, and just that you're going to share your story. And I don't, I wish y'all could see what I can see, because you've
Oh,
been to the rally. I think probably if everybody watching Boston was here last year, and he can tell you that it'll put you on your knees, and you see, like, we have this one couple, and they met, I guess, online or whatever, and they were both in recovery. And he was in the White House. She got a car, went and picked him up. They drove 4 hours. They both got baptized. They made the relationship official at the rally last year. You
you
know,
said,
and they're married now, and they're living their best life. And those stories that makes everything worth it. You know what I mean?
mhm.
And they'll tell you, if it wasn't for that rally. And so I hope everybody comes. I hope all my haters come, because our and he's what drives us.
Mhm.
It
Oh
really.
yeah. Yeah, it does. And in my past, if a lot of things that I react to now, I'm so proud of myself. My whole attitude in the past was a lot more physical and a lot more anger. And now
rage.
I always say now that I love controversy. But in the past, controversy, it was a very bad ending. Now I love it because it brings about conversation
Right.
and ideas. And like I always say, at the end of that conversation, you might still say, you know what, man, I still think you are a complete asshole. And no, I don't like you. But something you said kind of made sense in a way, so I am going to take that positive out of here. That's all. And I love these, comments that, come at me. And it's like, I'm in the same group. I'm in the same, family that you are, fighting the same enemy. But because I didn't do it the exact way that was appropriate for you, you got to come at me. We're in this as a family. So in the past, it would have been a lot more negative. Now it's just like, God bless you, man. Oh, bless your heart.
Right.
Bless your heart.
Mm.
I get tickled at our family Christmases. I don't even go anymore, but you'd have all of the Bible thumpers over here in this corner. You'd have all the ones that was drinking the homemade moonshine here. When it come time to pray over the Christmas dinner, they wanted to acknowledge the ones that were incarcerated. And in my family, we have several that have long-term prison sentences. And I
Uh-oh.
Come on.
love
Come
it.
Uh-oh.
on.
And acknowledge, and God
Pop.
bless not able to be here with us or whatever. That's just not me. I just can't feed into that mess. Because those are still human beings. That's still family. And
Yeah.
if they're going to be alone on Christmas, then I'll be alone too.
That's just it. And and you were so right though when you brought up, I was so naive. Like I said, I jumped into the social media circus blind, not
Circus.
knowing anything about anything, thinking, oh my God, all of these, when I did my first two interviews, it were Sober School and Hard Knocks, two big hitters. I mean, I was very fortunate and blessed to do that. And fortunately for me, it got a lot of positive feedback. Next thing you know, I'm getting hit up by all these different hosts to come on their show. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Thank God for Dan and Donna at Hard Knocks and Brad McLeod at Sober Patrol or Sober is Cool. Because they got a hold of me and said, listen, Manny, be careful about who you are associated with. And I go, what are you talking about? They're in the recovery platform. And they sat me down and had a talk with me about a lot of these people are going to be in this base to get all of this attention to themselves for their own, devious little. And I was like, but this is a recovery forum. And all of a sudden, the Detroit police officer and Detroit highwayman in me opened my eyes again. It was just like, you know what? Okay. And that from that second on, all of the bullshit that I've put up with since day one of all of the people coming at me with whatever it is, I don't even tell them. I just keep everything. Ask OG. Nothing gets by
Mhm,
me. As a
mhm.
former officer, I had to be on my A game. As a former highwayman, I had to be on my A game. And so for people who think they're getting stuff over on me by, hugging me while they're sharpening the knife they're going to put in my back, and as I'm hugging them back and they think they got me, no, I
Mhm.
know I got you. And that's why, like, you, Lori, there is nothing I would do for you in this family. And love me or hate me, that's why, when I hear your story, and like you told me one time, you go, when you came on my show way back then, Lori says, Manny, I'm going to warn you, I don't hold back, and this is what you're going to get. And I just instantly fell in love. I'm like, yes. So this family was meant to be.
Yes, it was, and I am so thankful for that. And, you know, distance doesn't separate anything. It really doesn't.
No, all
You're in,
it does is,
you're in my heart. You and OG both are in my heart. And, there's nothing I wouldn't do for y'all. And, I'm just excited about, what the future holds. Because when the rally comes, coming weekend, that's when I sit down and exhale. I see the fruit of all the work that I've done this past year. So, it's going to be a little more crunk this year because I'm going to be doing my own. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, I remember when I first talked to them, and wow, I remember when, and then next year when Donald Blow comes, and we hope we like get at it, my 5 hour war, and the whole family that we created. And it's just it's kind of mind blowing, isn't it?
and the thing is, Lori, I know you are the humble person you are, but I really hope that you can sit back and just take that. I did this.
And enjoy your own rally.
And I know all the help that you got. I'm not, discarding that at all. But just I really hope you could take that deep breath and just look in that mirror and be as proud of yourself as all of us are of you, because that day one meeting you and having you on the show, and then that when you asked about coming to this event back in September, there was no hesitation. Will you? Yes. I mean, you had me at hello. You had me at,
Dubs
at
burger.
yeah, you had me at Dub's Burger.
You have to thank Austin for that. I think he lost
Yes.
35, 40 pounds since he's not eating Dub's burgers anymore.
You
And
know,
so, yeah,
that
um,
it was. Boston said that you guys went and he talked about a Dub's Burger. And from that moment on, I was like, I need a Dub's Burger.
yeah,
Right.
and they've been in this town since early 1900s. Yeah, generations after generations of it's family owned still to this day. So yeah, we're thankful for our little Dub's burger, little hole in the wall, and you'll get to see our some of our little town, I hope. And
Oh, yeah.
we had more time because we're going to be nailed to the wall Friday night, be tired from traveling, and then you'll get a good night's rest and get ready to go on Saturday. Get up
Oh,
and give it all we got.
I'm ready. And this is from Donald Blow. Watching Lori is what makes these lives worthwhile. You know,
Mhm.
Ah,
that's from Donald Blow.
when I
And
saw Donald on your live, I think I told you he healed on your show. Like it was amazing to watch the transformation in him just in the time that he was on your show that night. And I actually reached out to him, and his story like really touched me. They all touch me every time I watch someone on your show, but there has been a couple that really, really touched me, and to see
Mhm.
got to go down to Florida to his son's graduation,
I-
you
wasn't that
know,
great?
Donald, you're a rock star in my book, buddy. So, I just can't wait. Like, I want everybody here like now. Y'all just come on early.
Well, I tell you, I got another one I share with you here. Paul Martinez says, "For a first timer being here, it sure won't be my last time watching." For
Aw.
Paul,
Aw,
so Paul, thank you for popping on, and you picked a great time to do it because
Welcome to the
welcome
family.
to the family. And Lori is someone who I just absolutely adore. Um, and this is someone from Boston because he said, "These are my peeps." And so, boss, appreciate it. So, Paul, welcome to the family. And, Laura, you just, like I said, you just are glowing, man. And, I
Heidi
can't,
says we need to go with an empty stomach, by the
I don't
way.
one thing to complain about.
Uh-oh.
Crap that I've been through. I think I shared with y'all yesterday, I had an amazing meeting with my attorney, and I go to court on Wednesday. I'm not ashamed to share that my attorney was like, I researched 10 states. She named off nobody's ever been convicted on what you got charged with. She said, and the question is, where was the harm? The harm was done to you. She said they have no case. And so, I could have retaliated, and my little Italian DNA kicked in, but I just never said a word. You know what I'm saying? We are going to have a lot of things to celebrate this weekend. We're going to celebrate those who are fighting addiction and who are going to be delivered from addiction. And we're going to celebrate this victory with this situation in court. We're going to celebrate the people that made it out alive, and it's got their story to tell. And
yep.
have an awesome memorial. That White Dove release is going to be phenomenal. I've got something really special planned for that. Y'all get to see, like, when y'all come down, you'll get to see what I do.
Well, I can't
This is
wait, man.
what I like to do. So,
Well,
you know,
you know, besides all that stuff, there's a few things looking forward to, and one is that first hug on Friday. That first, I mean, I'm not going to let you go. And then afterwards is on after the event. How remember we said it's like our post game wrap up to actually be able to sit back and just talk and
yes,
reflect on all of the amazing moments and memories and just share that. I mean, it's just
I like
I
to
can't.
call it also a debriefing time,
It
because,
is.
Yes.
I want OG and you to say, wow, Lori, it'd be awesome if you did this, because it's not about me. I mean, you may see something that would be like, if you incorporated this, you know what I mean? Share your
Mhm.
ideas, share your thoughts, and let's put them in there. That's what
Yep. And
everybody to do. It's because, like I said, it's this is something that God put us together to do for the addict, the person struggling, the
Hmm.
person with mental illness, the person with PTSD. I don't have all the answers. I do the best I can with what I know, but I don't know everything.
man, I tell you, we when we talk, we speak the same language because I said that on Kalicia's show. Um, I was talking to an individual, and she was telling me about her son and daughter-in-law. And she said, "My son has a drinking problem. My daughter-in-law has a drug problem." And she goes, "But we don't talk about that, outside these walls." I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, I'll tell you what. By not talking about it, you just put a drink in your son's hand. By not talking about it, you just put a needle in your daughter-in-law's arms. And the next time we do talk about it, we'll be at their funerals." She looked at me, she's like, "Who in the hell you think you are?" And I go, "I'm someone who doesn't have all the answers, but I'm someone who's never going to stop asking the questions."
That's right.
And by doing what we're doing, and it's just this family was meant to be. You are Boston hashtag not guilty. Um, Tyler Thompson not guilty. Um, let's see who else we got here. We had let's see
Ryan
Ryan
Page.
Page, man. There was a couple. Where was another one here that was for you? Um, just about everything. It was about you, and just everything that the energy and love that you are bringing to this family, and it's something that by bringing all of us together, even the little, little issues that pop up that could be a negative, you turn it into a positive, and that's something that's very special about you. And
Negative.
mm,
We just don't do negative.
no, no,
No.
no,
And
and
why spend your energy on, on something negative, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I wasted a lot of my life doing
We
that, and it damn
are
near cost me.
are part of the solution. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be part of the solution.
That's another thing I always say. I've been part of the problem most of my life. It feels so good to be part of the solution now. I have fought the bad fight for all the wrong reasons in the past, and now it feels so good to fight the good fight. And and doing it with you, Lori. I love you, man. And a few days away, and we're all going to be
Won't
together.
be long.
Well, I will plan on, touching base with y'all in the middle of the week.
Hmm.
I will meet you at the Huntsville International Airport. I will be standing there when you come down the little stairway, and you'll see me there waiting for you. And I'll take you down and show you where to get your rental car. Then y'all can follow me back in. I'll take you to your hotel.
I would be videoing it from the minute I get it until I see you. We are going to video this whole thing. There's going to be nothing but videos, pictures. And like I said, Lori, we're going to be going live.
All right.
Besides me doing whatever you got me doing, I mean, you got me Friday and Saturday, Lori. Do whatever you need me to do. I'm all in. You know that. Whatever you want me to do.
Just,
It-
just be
but
you. All I want you to do is just be you, and I do believe that so many people are going to want to meet you, individually and share their story and hear more about your story. And, I say each speaker gets like 15 minutes. If it goes a little over that, it's not a problem. But some people get up there and they get really long winded. You know what I mean? So you got to put some kind of timeline on there.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but just do you, Manny. Just do you.
well, I
That's all he
appreciate
knows
that.
how to do,
Yeah,
darling.
that's all I
That's
got,
all he
man.
knows.
Love it or hate it, that's all
Mm-hmm.
I got. And I just can't say enough. So before we do end this, you want to give information out as far as the rally, as far as Friday night, Saturday night details and times?
Yeah.
Yes, it is the seventh annual Addiction Eviction Rally in Athens, Alabama. On Friday night, June the 6th, we are having a meet and greet. It's usually for the people that are coming in to be a part of the rally, but it's just wide open game this year. We are having a Southern buffet. We're going to have fried chicken. We're barbecue pork. We're having green beans, corn, mashed potatoes. I think fried green tomatoes, rolls, and you're going to be hurting by the time it's over.
We're not. We're gonna stop eating today,
Okay.
so we can be ready.
And I have to share this with you too. There's this guy named Little Joe that I know from the streets, and he's come to the rally every year, and I would never let him get up and hold a microphone. And little Joe joined my church, and he's really, really making strides, And so, and he does Christian rap. So I told him, I don't know why the Lord had me do this, but he came up to me on Mother's Day and he said, "Hey, little mama," he said, "My mama's dead. Would you be my mama?" And it like,
Wow.
man, I got choked up because he's probably in his 40s, but his test he cut off his ankle monitor, and he got sentenced to 25 years in prison. I mean, his story is phenomenal. So I said, "Little Joe," I was like, and it had to be God speaking because I would have never done this. I was like, "I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do." I said, "I've never at the meet and greet let anybody give their testimony. But if you want to come to the meet and greet, I will let you give your testimony after we eat and rap a song." that guy, you would have thought that he won the lot. And
Mhm.
he came to my house today and knocked on the door and gave me $40 to sew into the rally.
Aw.
I mean that, and I was like, by giving him that one opportunity, it could change his,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
So we're gonna do that on Friday night, and then Saturday I'll be over there about 9 in the morning. Texas Roadhouse will bring all the hot dogs, and the food trucks will be pulling up, and the grills will be firing up. People will start showing up at probably 9:30, 10ish to set up their, their little vendor space, and it's on. I mean, it's on.
How
So,
far is it from the hotel to the rally?
ma'am,
How far is our hotel from the rally?
about 5 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
because we're all staying at
Perfect.
the same place. The only thing that we got to figure out is we were supposed to have a banner for our table.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that did not happen. So we are going to have a bannerless table. But you know what? That's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll
We can
make it
throw one of
work.
these on.
Yeah, we'll take a couple of our hoodies and just drape it over the
Table,
tent. They'll know who we are.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll go down and I've got a table for you, and I'll get a tablecloth, like a black tablecloth,
Oh,
and then
perfect.
put your stuff on there, and it'll be just like everybody else's.
Yeah, they'll know. That's we got Lori there, man. It's no doubt it'll be taken care of.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. I always start the rally by honoring our veterans. That's just something I've done from day one, and I've got some really awesome plans for that. So it's going to kick off at about 10:45 to where we can go right into the lineup at 11. So yeah, y'all come ready. You're going to have a really good time. It's going to.
I can't wait, Lori. Well, listen, man, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy schedule to sit and chat with us, man. And a few days away, and I cannot wait to see you. So thank you so much.
And I'm just gonna
Y'all
and
have-
thank you for the veterans, comments because I'm a lieutenant in the army.
Oh, gee.
I'm
Yep.
retired, but
yeah.
lieutenant.
Well, I'm working with the DAV here, which I'm a part of. I just became the chaplain, um, and you know what the 22 is, I guess.
That was we just saw that you just told us yesterday
Yeah,
about that, didn't you? Or
right.
the day before that you got the
Chaplaincy. Yeah.
chaplain.
And but they've got a little, I don't know what you call it, March or whatever. They're going to be doing really special this year.
Nice.
Our veteran suicide, our PTSD, our veteran homelessness, there's not funding for that. And people overlook, our veterans, in my opinion. And that is something that is heavy, special to my heart, is to make sure we honor those that fought for our freedom. So we'll be doing that. And so it's going to be a lot. So y'all just come ready to party.
We are ready. Well, Lori, listen, man, get some rest, and thank you so much for being you. I
Mhm.
love you to death, and just cannot wait to see you, hug you, hold you, and get this thing started. And we're gonna fire it up. We're bringing Detroit
That's
attitude,
right. That's right.
Detroit passion to Athens, Alabama. So love you so much, and
Love
thank
y'all.
you.
And if you need anything before you get here on Friday, just reach out, okay?
All right, man.
Thank you,
We'll be
darling.
talking to you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye
Love you.
bye. Love you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Man, she is just
She's so full of energy. She's amazing.
I tell you what, I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't say anything to you, but I was just sitting here and waiting for her to pop up on the bottom, and I go, man, she's probably just spent.
Exhaust.
I mean, I'm freaking exhausted just from my schedule changing and stuff like that, and I haven't done half of what she's been doing. And as soon as she popped on,
Just the
and
energy.
just look,
Just the glow.
she just made my heart smile, man,
Uh-huh.
because she is just glowing, and everyone else saw it too.
Mhm.
And for all you guys in here, man, thank you so much for joining us. Jacqueline, I really hope, I can't remember. I know you said you're 6 hours away, so I really hope that means you're going to be there Friday or Saturday, because really looking forward to seeing you, Gigi. Now, don't forget.
Yeah. We'll have to
Paul
figure out next year.
Martinez.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the family.
Thank you,
Paul.
brother, for popping on here and sharing some time with us. And since I know you said this is your first time, I'm not.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta say, y'all come back now.
Y'all come back now.
Paul.
But Paul, My Fight Our War, Boston's been on the show. We've had back and forth shows with him, along with Kalisha over at Pine Case podcast, and it just goes on and on. With me and what I do at My Fight Our War, there is no method to my madness except for pure madness. And I tell you, there's no judgment here. I don't care. Obviously, we're not going to let anyone disrespect anyone in any way. That ain't going to happen. Or bully anyone. That ain't going to happen. Or judge somebody. That ain't going to happen. But the thing is, I'm not going to do is judge anybody for your thoughts about how you attack addiction, how you jump into your recovery, and how you do it. Man, I may not agree with you and your steps and
okay.
Different programs, just like people don't agree with me. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as the end result is battling addiction, that's why we're all here. Just because you don't agree with the way I say something or do something doesn't mean my way is wrong and your way is right. So
there's more than one right way.
My Fight Our War, man, bring it. Come here. Say what you gotta say, in a positive way and all that, and you will not be jumped on by anybody.
No guilt, shame, or blame.
No,
in
man,
this
we
family.
appreciate it. We really do. And I don't have any degrees hanging on this wolf behind me. I am one of you. I went from being a Detroit police officer, wearing a badge, out there doing my job. I went from that and I jumped into, my crazy Harley biker life, riding with a 1% motorcycle club with the Detroit Highwaymen. I'm working with the feds, being chased by the feds. So that's my story is, I'm one of you and I'm not going to judge anybody. So, thank you, Paul, and thank you, Tyler and Donald and, everybody,
And
Tyler.
We have a Jennifer Mead. I don't know Jennifer, but welcome. If you're still on, welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Another new name.
Boston.
Trisha
everybody
was on. Vincent was on.
Yeah, Ryan. Just everybody, and then the ones for whatever reason that I don't see. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna. What is today? Still Saturday.
Yes,
I'm
Saturday.
telling you, my mind is turned to mush because between we do My Fight on Mondays with our guests coming on, sharing their stories. On Wednesday, we've got Music and Mayhem with myself and Skylar Ray. On Mondays now, we're going to be also doing My Brother's Keeper, a biker's podcast with Thomas Guffey Vestergaard from Denmark, who is, please check out Thomas. He is incredible. He's also goes by the Sensitive Biker. He has been around for quite a while. His story is intense.
Mm-hmm.
He was on chatting with Stax, another brother of mine, who we just hit it off and bonded in New York, Connecticut. And I saw Thomas on the show and I was like, dude, I got to have him on.
Yeah.
And me and Thomas talked, and within minutes, it was like we were finishing each other's sentences. His life, his story, his background, what he went through, is so relatable on so many different levels. And where he is now. So I threw it out there because I knew this guy was in demand. I mean, he's in Denmark, and all of a sudden he's like, yeah, get a hold of me. So I'm in Thailand now. It's like, oh, yeah. So
Really?
I never thought I'd be calling Thailand to set up a show with my new co-host from Denmark. But you know what? Life is good. And to each and every one of you, man, I swear to God, I love you guys, and no, it's not a bullshit, right thing to say because you're on the show. It's because it's meant. I mean, Kalisha, all you guys know that, it comes from the heart. And so Paul, welcome. And we're going to be.
And don't forget John Toole tomorrow.
Tomorrow we'll be popping out with John Toole. Monday, tentatively, we have Tim Snyder, the producer from Talking Trash, Monday. And yeah, so the madness continues.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you guys. And I hope you have a great weekend. And we will be chit-chatting soon. So until then, man, keep fighting that good fight.